Hi Shashank, welcome to the welcome to today's Infos interview session. Shashank here with us is from Money on Mobile. They have a very unique and innovative concept of tapping the 95% of the population which does not have a credit card or a debit card to pay for online and retail requirements. Shashank, I would like to know, is this particular service, Money on Mobile, for just the e-retail bit, or is it also for the offline retailers? So do you also have something on that?
Yeah, it is predominantly for offline. It's not only for e-retailer. It is basically a payment service. So anybody can use it, whether you have a credit or debit card, irrespective of that. What we typically do is we convert your physical currency into a digital format and make it available on your mobile phone to spend. So we essentially are a paperless company. There is no piece of plastic here, and the money sits on your phone, and that's a device that you will carry with you. Probably it's with you 18 hours in a day. So there's 6 hours that you sleep, it's not with you probably. So it's the convenience which is driving the growth, because you are in a train, you are in a traffic jam, you are waiting for somebody at a mall. You could take care of your bill payments by just simply sending a text, or if you are a smartphone user, you can use our app to pay. So you have multiple options, but the beauty is that it works on the feature phone. So the lowest entry level 700 rupee phone which is available in the market, when you insert a SIM card into it, you can send text messages and make calls. So you can be a Money on Mobile subscriber with that phone, send a text message to make payments, and that's where I see the future is going.
Wonderful. Well, basically, out of the 150 million internet online users,
yeah.
No, I'm talking about the online users. Online users.
Wow.
So the 150 million online users, there's only 1% who really use apps to stand, and there are 70 million of them who transact on the internet.
Yeah.
So that being said, this is quite a huge market. How do you basically address such a huge market? Using this particular feature?
Well, to address this huge market, the spread has to be large, your distribution has to be large, and that's what we have been doing for the past 3 years. We have created a distribution network of 3,000 plus distributors across the country, servicing about 1.5 lakh retail outlets, and these are all small retail touch points, which could be a pawn shop, it could be a grocery shop, it could be a gift shop, it could be anything. So we plug in our platform into those retail outlets, and then they could do mobile top up, or they could do bill payments, they could do movie ticketing, and a host of other things. So basically it's a completely new avenue for the cash driven economy. It's only cash as the financial instrument. And what do you do when there is an emergency? At 10 o'clock in the night, there is no retailer. You are sitting with the cash, but you cannot transact, right? So if you have credit on your Money on Mobile account, you are able to transact, whether it is 10 o'clock in the night, midnight, early morning, whenever it is.
Well, on this thing specifically, there are all the banks as of today offer either mobile-based payments or internet-based payments, and the utility bill payments that are already taken care of. There is the the ECS way of paying your bills, etc. So how do you plan to look at what do you think is the market share as of now? That's left out after all these people are basically encroaching on that particular territory that you could address as Money on Mobile.
See, if you look at India as a country, it is a country which is extremely dynamic. B, all of us being privileged probably since childhood to see our parents getting involved in the banking domain, and then that lineage is passed on to us, and the banking privileges we are enjoying, right? But there is about 70% of this country who is excluded from the banking privileges. Now, if they do not have a bank account, even if the bank is offering those services, how are they going to avail that? So that when we before we got into the business, we studied the market, and this 30% space, which is the bank space, and which has these numerous options which you just mentioned, right? Everybody is targeting that same segment because they're saying that, okay, this is the market, but that is not the market. The market is the other way around. It is the other 70% of the country, and that is what we are addressing. So I'm not going behind a bank customer, a card customer who is spoiled for choices. You yourself mentioned 6 choices for payments, right? And look at the other person who is unbanked. He has cash as the only financial instrument. There is no other financial instrument. So our objective is to make money on mobile, a mobile wallet, okay, his first financial instrument.
All right. So, considering this particular section of the society, I see very few people in this society having a need for emergency, clearance of either bills or even purchases online, doing purchases online, etc. And considering the fact that, as you said, 70% of unbanked people, out there, they are also of the conventional mindset where they look at the touch and feel. They will go to a shop and buy something. Or they will go and stand. I even know even today, my mother and father want to go stand in the queue and pay their electricity bill or the telephone bill. Now, how do you? What is that you do, or what is that payment companies should do basically to change this mindset? What is that is happening?
Well, I think there is again a difference of opinion here, because whenever I have spoken about unbanked, whether it is a media interview or whether it is forums like the conference that we are in. All the people equated to poor, and that is not the case. Okay, look at the youth in this country. People between the age of 16 to 23. Typically, that is the time when you graduate and you'll have your first job and your income, right? But you are spending since you are in college. So who's taking care of your payment needs? Nobody. You are unbanked. You do not have any piece of plastic. You have only cash. Now, there are small things in this youth segment, okay? Movie ticketing. You want to take your girlfriend out for a movie, okay? You are the privileged kid and you have a smartphone. Use our app, buy the ticket in your canteen, don't waste time, and take her for a movie. Your mobile top-up, okay, for that segment. There's another classic segment which you mentioned, like your parents, right? Same is the case with my mother, 68 years old, medical doctor, but still does not have a piece of plastic. Bank has check, and if she needs the money, will go to the bank, write a self-check and withdraw the money. So that's the way she works. But this solution works great for her, because at that age, meaning if she can pay her postpaid mobile phone bill by sending a text message or making 3 clicks on the app, okay, there is nothing like it. Obviously, meaning for adoption of this technology, it is not going to happen overnight, but the use case and the convenience is the one which will drive the consumer towards it, and once he has used it, he will be hooked to it.
Oh, that's interesting. Right. There's one more thing that we always look at. Most of the payments, e-payments that have to happen. Let's come to the online world at this point in time. People do not like to buy online because they fear the security of their financials are exposed, and there might be more money that a retailer, or an e-tailer can take away than what they want to give. So in this particular scenario, how does a mobile wallet justify, as opposed to, let's say, a cash card?
What happens here is, if you have a credit card today, typically there are higher spending limits available on the credit card. 1 lakh of rupees, 3 lakhs, 5 lakh is common in this country now. Now, when you are using the card, there is definitely a security risk on the internet, because it is getting exposed. There are already many people who have tried to plug in a lot of the loopholes that are there, but still there is a risk, okay? So in a mobile wallet or a prepaid debit card kind of a wallet, what happens is that you are defining the risk to a particular amount. So let's say you have a 300,000 or 3 lakh limit on your card, and you put only 5,000 rupees on your mobile wallet, okay? And you are using the mobile wallet for making that e-tailing purchase, right? You are exposing an instrument which is only 5,000 rupee worth, right? So that will bring down your risk in terms of, because this risk is more in the mind, right? So that is where it can be addressed, and that's the way it can be done.
Oh, that's interesting. As what we also see here is that in most cases the adoption to technology per se from I'm not talking about poor here in in whatever context. I'm talking about those people who are more conventional, because this 70% who is unbanked generally comes from a conventional mindset. So adoption to technology, even if it is very simple, is pretty difficult, or it's people don't get adopted to technology. For that matter, I know people who don't want to use SMS because it just you have to type in and then you send it. You don't know which number you're sending. By chance, it goes to somebody else. Things of that sort. I'm thinking this 70% will have a lot of that kind of a mindset people there. So what is the things that you've done, or what is the education that you've done that eases this out of the system?
Okay, I can tell you a story here. When before we started this business, when we were in the conference room on the drawing board, right? I thought that what probably I am trying to do is going to be limited to the 4 metros and the 4 mini metros, and it will end there. Okay. Last 3 years have taught me something completely different. I am getting the best response to the service from interior parts of Rajasthan, Bikaner and surrounding areas, Jodhpur, then Dhanbad, Ranchi, Jamshedpur, West Bengal. So it has been unbelievable kind of an experience. Meaning, I also used to feel this is probably like, meaning most of those 70% would be like a less literate kind of an audience, very conventional. How will they send text messages and how will they transact? I myself was not sure, but this 3 years has been a learning, and I'm telling you, it has taught me otherwise. We do about 500 or 500,000, like it is 5 lakh transactions a day. 98% of the transactions originate on SMS. Okay, and this is originating from all these mom and pop stores and the consumers in those cities, okay, with this kind of mindsets. So I think instead of we figuring out how these people are doing it, I think both of us need to go to school to learn that India has changed. And I think I really don't know, meaning this less literate kind of a population adapting to the text messaging. They're sending that text message and doing a successful transaction. My error rate is less than 1%. Could you believe that? 500,000 transactions a day, less than 1% error rate is what we are doing.
Wow. But this brings me to a very interesting proposition here.
Yeah.
Which is, let's say, there's some kind of technology that needs to be bridged out here as well, because there is the user who is going to, let's say it's an individual consumer, or it's retailer or whoever it is, who wants to pay using the mobile wallet, and there is the other person who's your distributor or who's your network, who's basically going to take the money and make it. Is there any is there any requirement, or is there any barrier in terms of they having to have the same account, from a certain banking perspective, or whatever it is, for them to become your retailer to avail of your service?
The money on mobile service works agnostic of the telecom operator and agnostic of the bank. So whether you are a bank customer, you have a bank account, you don't have a bank account, there is no question of specific bank account here. So if you don't even have a bank account, you can use. So the specific bank account question does not arise. The retailers typically connect to money on mobile through a distribution channel. So if there are 50-100 retailers in a village or in a small town, if one of the smart guys who's the distributor there is banked and can send the money to us, I think that takes care of it.
All right, and coming to the e-commerce section, right? This is very important that there is some kind of integration that happens on the e-commerce site as well. So what is the kind of integration, service like yours demands the e-commerce companies to have?
Typically, the integration is very, very easy. I am not the technology expert, so I think my CTO can give you input here, but the technology integration is pretty much easy. It is like a half-day job. So if there is any e-commerce portal who wants to link into money on mobile as a payment option, we are there, we are ready.
Yeah, so it's basically an API based.
Absolutely, it's absolutely API based. Yes, that is correct.
All right. Okay, so in terms of the payments, now we are talking about the future and the challenges. What are the challenges that you find here, apart from you told me about the opportunities at this point in time? So what are the challenges that you face that basically bring you to a standstill and say, hey, where do I move from here?
Well, to be honest, they have not brought us to a standstill. But there are certain relaxations we are expecting from the regulators, because at this point in time, there are two kinds of wallets. One with a 10,000 rupee spending limit and balance limit, and one with a 50,000 rupee spending and balance limit. Now, in the first 3 months, I have had consumers who have exhausted the 10,000 rupee balance limit and tried to top up their wallet again. And obviously we are not allowed because there is a regulator-led limit there. So those transactions have failed, and then they have to wait till the next month to do the transaction. So if that limit gets relaxed, probably the business will grow more, is what I feel. And then obviously there are certain challenges on the KYC, because there is no standard procedure in India for KYC. And even the regulator does not have this procedure. So that is the challenge there.
So from the marketing aspect of things, or from the taking this product to the consumer point of view, is there any kind of challenges that you have faced?
Not yet, absolutely not. I think it's the grace of God. I should thank Him. But we have not faced a challenge on that side.
All right. So coming to the industry, perspective, what do you think is the future of e-payments going to be? Do you think there are going to be more number of people who are at this point in time, researching online to buy something new, at this point in time, looking up different offers online just before they purchase something? Are they going to be the guys who are going to convert thanks to services like yours and services on the e-payment option? And if so, how fast is the adoption you see? If you can give me some stats on that.
See, I am a believer that more technology that man brings in, more lazy we become. I remember 40 years back, there was nothing like internet. This country did not have landlines. Okay, so that time the world still worked, right? So today with the technology, when they brought internet, they brought everything to your living room. Now everything is in your bedroom. You don't want to move out of there. Your work schedules are so hectic and stressful, okay, that the time that you get at home is virtually become precious. So you don't want to leave that place, meaning you want to be home. And if you want to be home and still do things, I think going the e-way is the only way to go about it. So whether you do shopping, learning, retailing, whatever you do, it's the e-way to go.
All right, that's interesting. So that brings us to a last question out here, which is from the scenario of e-commerce,
yes,
as it is today. As most people say, it's going into a lull. It's not so it's not so attractive at this point in time. But by 2017, the scope of improvement is really high, and they are very optimistic about the market going really great. What do you think is going to be the contribution of payments in the entire sphere, in terms of either percentage or in terms of anything that's going to go ahead? What do you think? How much is payments going to be the driver to make this a success?
See, payments typically would not be the driver to make it a success, is what I feel. The reason is that when you buy a product, irrespective of the payment mechanism, you have to make the payment, right? Whether it is a product, service, whatever you are taking, you have to make a payment, right? So the elementary form of doing that is cash, okay? And now then the cards and various options that we are building like money on mobile are options to make it more and more convenient to you, right? But whether e-commerce is slowing down or there is what is happening, the payments cannot drive that. The payments can only bring convenience to the consumer. The e-commerce model, I think the way India is going in the last 2 years is contrary to the original thought behind the e-commerce model. Because if you are an e-commerce company, why are you using television as a media to advertise? I think that is probably not the right media to advertise. You should be on internet, and that's where you should get the visibility. Meaning people should not see you on TV and then come to internet searching for that site. So functionally, in my head, it's personal opinion. So it's headed in the wrong way. Meaning the advertising, branding, everything, that creation has to be in the internet world, not on TV, is what I guess.
Yeah, but again, it's out there to reach the masses, to at least spread the word, so that.
So probably if you are reaching the masses and they don't have cards, mobile payments is the solution to go ahead. I think at this point in time there are only 2-3 players in India. This space will see a explosion in the next 5 years, is what I feel. But coming back to your original question, payment will not drive the industry. It is a tool which is part and parcel of any and every industry, because without the payment nothing can happen. So there is no transaction which is complete without the payment. So the mechanisms will keep changing.
So as I understand, payments will become an integral part of consideration, just like now, being online and driving content is. And you are finding out innovative ways of reaching out to the mass, which does not have all the options that that's given by the modern world. So that's very interesting, and I wish you success. Thank you for being with us.